You don't have to dig a well when there's a fire. What you're saying is we should invest in creating network within the universities and among the universities.
Absolutely.
So that for future, yes, I think it is a good thought.
During the interaction, one thing I heard about the committees to form at a village level for knowledge as a kind of register. I think if we are going on creating committees and associations, I think it's a bad sign that it's a sign of decline of the society or the policy of the society is declining. So instead of creating new communities and associations, we should try to utilize the existing groups, as to say, crafting of the already existing institutions instead of creating new ones. And in this context, I think instead of creating a committee, we can have a village knowledge register in the village that would be governed by the existing committee. Like in my place, we had village education committee in every village. So that task can be given to them instead of creating a new one. This way, one problem, I think one friend of us suggested how to go in the reverse direction. The innovators coming to the center. This way, this creating of a register will help in innovators taking a proactive action and coming to the center and depositing it. And one more benefit of this register will be the innovator or the idea depositor will have a chance to update his submitted knowledge system. So it will be a conservation, not a preservation.
Conserve, renew, update the knowledge regularly. This point was mentioned in the IT section also, that there is going to be a broadband connectivity to all the villages in 1 year time. When all the villages are connected with broadband, surely this kind of research will be easier, both for developing, updating and sharing. But whether that happens or not, we should see.
With other countries, we have worked in Kerala with KSSP and
Biodiversity.
including associated knowledge.
Right. So I will have to rub that part. So if there's anything on that section that is we have here, if anybody wants to add anything to or modify it, then I will like to take it forward before we rub it up. On this section, innovation search engine, database of philanthropist, advanced deposit for an uncertain product. That was a very good idea. Somebody is developing innovation and people buy in the future supply of a product. If it succeeds, you get a product, you pay for it. If it doesn't succeed, well, you have taken the risk, you have invested in an idea. That was a good idea. Contingency system, pay as you wish, different models that if you want to support this, you pay as much. If you are to belong to this category, you pay as much. So different categories of entitlements and obligations. That is the point that John made. Framework of collaboration and including humility among the students by bringing them in touch with the innovators. Many of our collaborators are trying to do that, but we need to do it at a very large scale. Pranav mentioned that point. So can I rub it off? Anything to be modified here? Next, please.
Actually, my suggestion is I want to give a little bit of background to the problem. As we talked about the next mission or the next target for the Honeybee network. So I want to raise a question or a shameful scenario of a country. 2 days earlier, I visited Gujarat University mess, and I have seen a 6 to 7 year child, and I met 3 child. I asked 3 of them, "आप स्कूल जाते हो या नहीं जाते?" Because the scenario is they cannot go to school because their parents want to have their food in the mess. So I want the next target, so though a short term, should be for Honeybee network to have India with literate canteen working child laborers. Because we can't remove the child laborers, but we can teach them by our own efforts on their working place.
I don't think Rohit, we should tolerate child labor. I will not like to participate in anything to legitimize this child labor. Child labor is wrong, unethical, illegal, improper. And I will not, we should not do anything to conserve it, to make it benign, to make it tolerable. No.
But at least we can teach them because we are not able to remove the system of child labor.
That, don't say we cannot. We have to do, we have to try our best.
So
The moment you create space for something which is immoral, you become party to the crime.
So let's take the action to remove the child labor.
Right, remove the child labor. That I agree. That I agree. We should do everything possible that none of us in our personal lives, in our professional lives, in our organizational systems, permit child labor. That resolve, we should make it an ethical principle of any network. Nobody involved in the network would ever participate in any activity or encourage child. That's fair. That point I accept, but not the same.
So, but the question arises, how will these children survive? Because
We have to, that means, so let us not take the easy option. The costly option is adopt one child for education. Pay for one child's education. I mean, we are all earning enough in our lives. Let's pay for one child's education. You feel strongly about it? Put your money where your mouth is. No easy option. Pay for that person's child education. From your scholarship, from your salary, from whatever it is. There is no easy option. We should not accept any easy option. Anything else is immoral.
still there is a huge gap.
I agree, but each one of us sitting here can take care of as many children at least. Let us do that. Easier options will not work. I can tell you that I have struggled with this problem for many, many years, and the moment you try to generate room for maneuver for these problems tend to become bigger, not smaller. That's the problem. The moment you create room for maneuver, बड़ी गुंजाइश दिखा दो एक छेद घड़े में छोटा सा छेद अगर आप रहने दोगे ना तो छेद बड़ा ही होने वाला है, वो छोटा नहीं होगा। या तो पानी के अंदर नमक डाल दो तो भर जाएगा, वरना तो बढ़ेगा।
Yes, it is ideological more than this is the best solution for this.
I agree with that. We should have made it an ideology. Sunaram.
दोपहर पहले एक थोड़ा सेशन कल्चरल और इनोवेशन के दोनों के परस्पर संबंध के बारे में हुआ था।
तो जहाँ देवबनी है, मजार है या समाधि है, वहाँ तो कोई सूखी लकड़ी भी नहीं उठाता, गीली लकड़ी तो काटने की बात क्यों है। लेकिन जहाँ गार्ड रखे जाते हैं, फॉरेस्ट गार्ड रखे जाते हैं, रखवाली की जाती है, वहाँ लकड़ी की कटाई हो जाती है। तो क्या कोई ऐसी हमारी जो कल्चर है इसका उपयोग बायोडाइवर्सिटी बचाने में हो सकता है, और इसके बारे में आइडियाज हैं उनको भी डॉक्यूमेंट करना चाहिए।
बहुत सही कहा। ऑरेंज जमीन बोलते हैं राजस्थान में। Orange land is the land which is left for God and goddesses. I have seen with my eyes a dead, dried tree lying in the orange land. Nobody touches it because it is supposed to be used for funeral pyre of those who can't afford to buy wood. So nobody uses that wood.
Bonds were never considered sacred.
So like that. So therefore, the point that is being made is cultural institutions of conservation. We should make a database of such institutions. We have CPRI, /CPI, Common Property Institution, but we need to do much more than what we have done so far. And this is a priority area. Anybody who wants to champion this, who wants to join this effort, feel free to join hand because this is something very, very important, what you have said. Very important, yes.
We are discussing about the various problems we are facing.
Not problem, we are wanting the recommendations for the
Yeah,
network
yeah.
or issues in declaration in
Yes,
this and the all.
By definition, every problem is multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. Thus, we are trying to attract your attention about Techpedia. And can we define, create new kind of portals or new platforms which are online, offline? We discuss, which motivate students, knowledgeable people, experts, non-experts, people involved in classroom to contribute, come together to solve the problem which are interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary in nature. And not that only what impression we are giving that it's all the problems are like Techpedia. It is essentially oriented. People from social science are not motivated to contribute to problems in our daily life. So that is one. So we can create some curriculum or also build some curriculum also.
Good point. We should not think that technologies are good for only technical knowledge.
Yeah.
Good point.
Second is we talked about incentive to innovate. And also many people express their desire. Like a lot of discussion should be on incentive to diffuse the knowledge and innovation. So my thing is that my personal feeling is that all the professions they work on their own self-interest. And if you want to diffuse the message around, we have to help others to really understand the grassroots and like journalists, writers, people who are always mobile, and we can take help from people who are involved in creative industry. And how we can come up with some orientation program for those media people, people who are involved in documenting all this or disseminating. So a consistent orientation programs will help also them refresh. And like third issue, financing, how to convey to the business community the need of the art, like how to finance it in the different models which yesterday came venture, micro venture you mentioned.
One point which came out during the tea break about either a new channel on innovations or at least space. Again, I'm talking about your idea. I'm talking about your idea. Either a new channel on innovation or space in the existing channels. And we already talked, thanks to Gopi, to the in charge of the Science Communication DST. He's going to come here on 15th, 14th evening, I think. We're going to take that issue forward as to how do we create we will ask every channel owner to donate some space, some time for innovation, dissemination, and let us see how many of them will agree. Not everybody will agree, but I am told there are 400 channels in India, and we are planning to have a meeting of them to create dissemination through public media or private media.
Yeah, someone mentioned philanthropy.
Tell me briefly.
Yeah, just, and if
Anything
we-
which has been said, don't repeat it.
No, I'm not repeating. I'm just making a point from the point of diffusion. If we can motivate people to contribute or donate and to uplift these technologies or grassroots innovation, we can make those people as a brand ambassador and then make use of it.
Thank you, thank you. We will only take 2 or 3 last points and then we sum up. Yes, here.
I was not aware of this banking before. There is not a single ad as mentioned 25 years. For last 25 years, you are trying to get sponsorship or ads also for generating revenue. Most of the articles that I see are basically, rural focused or something like that. So why are so many organizations who are, into the industries which are rural focused not coming up and advertising in this magazine? I think there's a possibility to, connect with these organizations which are rural focused to get ample advertisements for running and making this magazine sustainable. Secondly, what I understand that the network, the innovation that you are looking at is ultimately looking into
Innovation that we are doing, not you are. We are. You are part of it.
So, ultimately, it should lead the innovator to maybe employability and ultimately into entrepreneurship, if I'm not wrong. What I understand, the government of India and various state governments also have so many schemes running up to support employability and entrepreneurship already.
That is well known, but you know it's not easy.
So, is there NIF, I don't know how big it is as in terms of supporting innovation. Can there be a possibility of connecting the two, so later on to support
Sure.
this thing? Another thing is, when you're talking of supporting innovation, how do you plan to finance that thing for the innovator? Because it will involve a lot of funding to support. One idea was there to prepay the
There's also a micro venture innovation fund.
right. Okay. So if it is already there, it's good. Otherwise, I thought, most of the government schemes which are there are subsidy based, where you are working on things which are traditional in terms of they're proven, the technologies are proven, and maybe systems are proven. This is something which has to be supported, which is not proven, and you are trying to try new things. These are the only.
Thank you. Somebody here, yes.
So can you introduce in IIM Child Innovation Fellowship and Women's Innovation Fellowship? So in that guidelines you can make fellowship for the recommendation in that especially for the innovation from the villages. So we'll be encouraged with
We already, I told you, the beginning you were down there. There are 1,000 children in innovation fellowship being conducted by the Government of India. Very soon a policy is going to be announced where for imagination only they will be given 50,000 rupees. If they develop a product, they will be given another 50,000 rupees. If they file a patent, they will be given another 50,000 rupees. So there is a policy that Government of India has nearly finalized. It can be announced in the next few weeks or months.
Fellowship should cover the education of the
Correct.
person.
No, this is for ideas, but that amount will be used, they can use it the way they want. Yes. Jack.
Sir, it seems the DST is on the process of establishing a Global Technology March Group, GTWG, Global Technology March Group, in connection with the 8 national missions on climate change. So that by don't, if we have so many technologies, if we can categorize into different platforms of this, in tandem with this 8 platforms, 8 national missions, and we can also link with this GTWG, so that it can be available to both the policymakers and the end users. And second point is, whether there is any possibility, for example, in Western countries, for example, if you are using an electric car, there no need to pay parking charges. Similarly, for using green technologies or the technologies which is vetted by NIF, whether there is a possibility to reduce VAT or sales tax or any other incentive, not to the producers, but to the buyers, but to the end users, there will be any incentives or any subsidies, so that you can follow this matter in the higher levels, and the budget such a system comes, it will be a great
Good idea. We will. Paul. Yes, after that. Paul. And then James. And then.
So I've been listening to all these different suggestions, and it looks like they're very heavily loaded towards technology, and the returns have to be some form of money or investment. And I'm thinking about the most successful innovations in medical treatments today are not dealing with the drugs or with the protocol, but they're dealing with consumer information and sharing. It doesn't involve so much money. People come to let's say, a cancer support group. I think there are 60 million people in cancer support groups around the world. And they come to it not to get any money out of it or to get, it's just to have community, to have some kind of spiritual solace, to have some kind of connection to others. And so I'm wondering whether you could separate out some innovations that are not necessarily material, technological, money driven, but more cultural and spiritual, and find ways of promoting them or emphasizing them. And then perhaps also some of the efforts of the network goes into a select few innovations. You can't do everything. I mean, there's just so much. In the 2 days that I've been here, I've probably heard 200-300 innovations, and you can't promote everything. So selecting a few, and those which don't necessarily involve technology and monetary and physical material goods, but more cultural and social and spiritual goods.
Actually, it's our mistake that we did not share enough posters of social innovations. We did have compilations from interesting ideas. For instance, there is a friend in Modasa, Chetan Kanamanka, who writes, whenever there is an obituary published in the newspaper, he sends a postcard expressing Rambhai Charan, the teacher. He has sent tens of thousands of postcards. मुझे बहुत दुख हुआ जानकर कि आपके यहाँ इनका देहावसान हुआ, क्या आप उनकी स्मृति में एक पेड़ लगाना चाहेंगे अपने आसपास? So he writes a letter to the family of those who have published their obituary in the newspaper and says, I am very sorry to hear about the death in your family. Would you like to plant a tree in memory of the deceased? And he has surely motivated, if not all of them, large number of them to do that. It's a cultural innovation. It doesn't require money, just a postcard. And he does it from his own pocket. So like that, there are many examples we have in our database, but we could not share them, so our mistake, our weakness. But we also need champions to expand this aspect of networking. You see, by all of it, our 90% work is through volunteers. We have very few staff members in Srishti. Very few. You can't believe it. Some of you should visit Srishti and then experience it yourself. And I have of course focus on it. But Srishti has a broader. we need volunteers who will take responsibility for different verticals, and then the headquarters of that activity shifts to your place. We will facilitate, we will strengthen, we will do linkages and everything. Everything is done through you rather than doing through us. So we are really in for a distributed model of management itself of the network. Network should not be managed from Srishti alone, should not be managed from Ahmedabad alone. It can have nodes all over the world for different activities, which should be run through that node for worldwide applications. That is really a dream that we have. There is no reason why. I told you already that we have a tendency to centralize everything, and we must not let that happen. Definitely not in happiness, and that has to be conflicted. You should feel, you will feel a little uneasy to begin with, but that uneasiness has to be overcome. Last 2 points, 3 points, 4, then these are last 4 points. After that, based on. Yes.
One area which we can need attention is innovations for the elderly people and innovations of the elderly.
Yes.
2 and 4.
Yes.
मैं स्वरूप अर्थ केयर डिजाइन नासिक में हम इको फ्रेंडली प्रोडक्ट्स के ऊपर काम करते हैं। तो वहाँ पे एक हमें हम SJSRY का जो स्कीम है BPL SHG ग्रुप्स के लिए, तो उनको एज अ लाइवलीहुड ऑप्शन के लिए क्या क्या प्रमोट कर सकते हैं, उसके लिए हम काम करते हैं उनके साथ भी। तो बहुत सारे NF की भी मैंने कुछ प्रेजेंटेशन उसको दिखाए क्या क्या प्रोडक्ट्स हम एज अ लाइवलीहुड ऑप्शन, जैसे वॉशिंग मशीन है और कुछ अगरबत्ती बनाने का है, तो वो कुछ ग्रुप्स में इसका अच्छा ऑप्शन लाइवलीहुड के लिए अच्छा हो सकता है। लेकिन फिर उनका कहना ये है कि ये अप्रूव नहीं होता है बैंक से, क्योंकि इसका कुछ प्रोजेक्ट ये नहीं है, प्रपोजल नहीं है एक टाइप का। तो ऐसा कुछ NIF करे कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो ऐसे हर एक कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स हैं जो ऐसे
कमेटी वाले लोग बैठे हैं यहाँ पे।
तो ऐसे कुछ प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट यानी
गुड थॉट
बना सकते हैं NIF से, तो हम डायरेक्टली उनको दे सकते हैं और फिर वो बैंक में सबमिट कर सकते हैं। और अगर ये अप्रूवल, अगर उस पे अप्रूवल रहेगा, उसमें कुछ एग्जांपल्स रहेंगे तो जल्दी हो सकता है।
देयर इज अ प्रोसेस फॉर इट, हमको थोड़ा नच करना पड़ेगा इस प्रोसेस को, बट हो सकता है ये काम। दिस इज व्हाट NABARD does it actually. They have unit cost committee in every state, and they do normally do whenever new technology comes up, new product comes up, that is the routine thing that they do. But maybe our coordination is to become stronger. But what you are saying can happen actually. It is doable. It is doable.
In this recent scenario of TV and internet, what I am thinking right now is like Amit Khan's show of Satyamay Jayate, which has highlighted various issues and innovators as well. And on one show when I saw the organic food, I was feeling very thrilled because I have seen Srishti in 2003, and from that time onwards I am your fan. So the point is, can NIF initiate such move to create certain kind of video documentaries, and we can put this on internet like YouTube and to spread the awareness among the big masses of youth, you know. So like what is the NIF or what is grassroots innovation can be spreaded among the young generation of India. I think that is the best thing we can do in this internet age, and through that we can reach the universities and colleges.
This is an area where we have a YouTube channel, but we don't use it in the way that he is suggesting. We are not having a series on YouTube channel on sustainable water conservation or on innovations for waste management.
Because this series will help the people, like we can show channel.
I volunteer to champion that.
This channel, great, wonderful. So we found a person who will support you now, and please take hold of this.
My humble suggestion is that we can create a good series which we can highlight or showcase to the villages or certain places to educate the mass at the at the villages, at the tribal areas and so on.
Thank you. Last one. And then we will close.
At the moment we have around 1,60,000 ideas. And now it's not a wishful thinking, but I am very confident that in the next 3 years, 5 years, it will be more than 16 lakhs. I have a reason for that. On 25th of November, in our Telugu news magazine called Eenadu, the weekly magazine, there was an article.
This you share again. Tell us this specific
Yes, with that itself, we have more than 50 1,500 inquiries.
ठीक है, आपने बताया।
So, the rate is going on. Coming to 1.6 billion is not a difficult task. To handle that, we need infrastructure. So, decentralization and capacity building at various centers so that the innovators will get the benefit. For that, the funding either from CSRs or any like now NKC or anything should be done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Last one.
मैं ये जानना चाह रहा था कि जैसे हम लोग इनोवेटर हैं और हमारे कुछ भाई जैसे चीज़ें बनानी है जो आजकल पब्लिक के अंदर काफ़ी ज़्यादा मतलब उसके इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट कर रही है और उनसे लोगों को फायदा हो रहा है। तो जैसे अब बागवानी विभाग है, डिपार्टमेंट हॉर्टिकल्चर मिशन चल रहा है पूरे देश में, तो मैं जानना चाहूँगा कि जो मैंने मल्टीपर्पज प्रोसेसिंग मशीन बनाई है, इस मशीन से जो नया मॉडल में आप जो मेरे को मैंने दिया है, मैंने इस पर ट्राई किया है कि हल्दी का जो मतलब जो खेत से कच्चा हल्दी निकलता है उसको हम लोग 4 घंटे में प्रोसेस कर सकते हैं। जब हल्दी किसानों का आज पूरा मतलब महाराष्ट्र और पूरा तमिलनाडु पूरा हरियाणा और सारी जगह हल्दी की प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, तो मैंने मशीन से ट्राई करके देखा है कि हम लोग 1 पावर की मोटर से 1 घंटे में 100 किलो हल्दी को प्रोसेस कर सकते हैं और उसका जूस अलग कर सकते हैं और जूस के अंदर जो नेचुरल वाटर है उसके जूस के अंदर का उसको अलग कर सकते हैं और उसके बाद में जो फोक है उसको पाउडर में
सुझाव क्या है?
मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि इसको जो है इस पे की एक्टिविटीज को मतलब सरकार को सब्सिडाइज करवाया जाए। आप उनको बताएं कि वो जैसे रोज पे हो।
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है। So friends, every good thing has to come to an end. कोई भी अच्छा काम करेंगे तो उसकी समाप्ति तो होनी चाहिए उस समय, पूर्णाहुति तो होगी।